Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So right now I have about 115 books on my physical TBR, and a decent chunk of them have been sitting there for a few years now. I feel like I kind of just forget about these few books, and so I thought that I would start a series called Read It or Weep. This is basically like the Read or Unhaul series that a lot of people have been doing on YouTube and TikTok, but I am going to have a spinner wheel with a list of the 20 or so books that have been sitting on my TBR for a few years now. I'm going to spin the spinner wheel, and whatever it lands on, I will have to read. If I don't read it or DNF it, then I have to unhaul it. So right now, I came up with a list. I have 20 books and a series on this list. So to go through a quick rundown of what is on this list, I have On the Come Up by Angie Thomas, The Guardian by Nicholas Sparks, The Epic Story of Every Living Thing by, I believe, Deb Caletti, This Is My America by Kim Johnson, The Feral Detective by Jonathan Lethem, The Truth About White Lies by Olivia A. Cole, When You Wish Upon a Lantern by Gloria Chao, The No Family by Grace Shim, Go the Distance, which is a twisted tale by Jen Calonita, The Queens of New York by E.L. Shen, Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Malinda Lowe, Outside the Lines by Amy Hatvany, Hollow Fires by Samira Ahmed, Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes, Circe by Madeline Miller, Like a Love Story by Abdi Nazemian, Dava Shastri's Last Day by Kirthana ramisetti, and then the Villain series by Serena Valentino. I am going to screen record here and then see what we land on. Okay, we landed on Like a Love Story by Abdi Nazemian. Let me go get that. Like a Love Story is a historical romance set in 1989 in New York City. It follows this Iranian kid named Riza. He is gay and he's dealing with the AIDS crisis at this time. This is a coming of age story where Riza kind of figures out who he is and learns how to accept himself and his sexuality. I can't remember when I bought this, but it has been on my TBR for at least 2 years now, I think. And I just haven't picked it up yet. So I will give this a shot and let you guys know how it goes. Hey guys, it's really late right now, but I am currently like a little over halfway through Like a Love Story, and I figured I should give you a quick update before I go to bed. So I don't remember if I said what this is about, but Like a Love Story is about these 3 teenagers. One is an Iranian immigrant who just moved to New York City. He is gay, but he doesn't have any like real concepts of what that means other than the fact that he likes men. So he is very, very afraid of his sexuality. He believes that because he is gay, he is guaranteed to get AIDS, and that AIDS is basically a punishment for gay people. This book takes place in the 1980s, and it's right in the middle of the AIDS crisis, and when the general public was blaming AIDS on the gay community. So he fully believes it, and it makes it even harder on him to grapple with his sexuality. The second main character, Art, is best friends with the third teenager, Judy. Art is also gay. He's an activist for the ACT UP Fight AIDS movement. And so when Reza, that is the Iranian teen, moves to New York City, he meets Art and Judy. He develops a crush on Art, but his internal homophobia and just complete fear of his sexuality causes him to start a relationship with Judy, and all of this creates a whole lot of tension, a whole lot of drama. So far, I am really enjoying this book. I think that the writing is very easy. It is a YA book, so the writing is not too complicated. I think that the struggles that each of these teens are dealing with when it comes to coming into terms with their identities, both in the queer community as well as being plus sized, being non-white, and an immigrant, all of that feels very realistic, very relatable. Since this book deals with all three of these kids coming to terms with their sexuality, there are some like sexual moments, references, thoughts included throughout some of these chapters, which is a little uncomfortable to read as a grown woman. I imagine that these questions and these thoughts that they're having are fairly relatable. It feels young, it feels very exploratory, and I think the way that it is written feels very realistic. The amount of queer culture and history that we're getting in this book is amazing. I really like all of this. It's making me want to learn more about the AIDS crisis and kind of all of the activism that went on during that time period. I wish that there was more about Iran and the Iranian culture. There have been a few references to the Iranian Revolution that took place in the 80s, but there haven't really been any details. So far, I really am enjoying it. I think that this has really good representation and that it's a great YA book. I think it would help both queer and non-queer teens kind of discover themselves and learn more about each other and the queer community. The writing and the dialogue is a little bit juvenile, but especially when reading from Art's point of view, I really enjoy it. He's super passionate about his activism and about the AIDS movement, and I'm honestly just really obsessed with his passion. Hey guys, so I finally finished Like a Love Story. Sorry if you can see the luggage here. I'm about to head out for a trip in literally like 20 minutes and figured I should film this clip first before I leave. But yeah, I finished this book last night. I really enjoyed it. It's very good take on discovering your sexuality. It shows the struggles of discovering your sexuality and how there's always something to learn about other people's journeys with it. The drama, the relationships in this all felt very nostalgic for high school. They felt realistic. I loved the incorporation of queer culture, queer history. The amount of activism for the ACT UP Fight AIDS movement that was displayed in here was really interesting. I kind of want to go and see how many of the protests that were referenced in here are true and like read up about them. The storyline was a bit predictable, but I don't think that really hurts the book. What this book does so well isn't really the overarching plotline, but the little moments and conversations that happen during their self-discovery. This book was a bit uncomfortable to read, especially towards the end, because as these characters are discovering their sexuality, there's a large conversation and quite a few moments of them referencing each other's bodies and just some sexual thoughts, which is I don't tend to like in books in general, but was extra uncomfortable because these are teenagers. It was a little awkward at times. I kind of had to skim past that part, but I really enjoyed the queer discovery. I liked that this had a Middle Eastern main character. I feel like a Middle Eastern queer character isn't really very common in media, at least not that I've seen. So I really liked the diversity representation in that. I like how that kind of plays into his thoughts around being queer and his journey. I wish that there was more Iranian culture thrown into this book, especially because there were a few references to the revolution that was going on around this time period. But overall, I thought this was a pretty good book. I am going to rate this 4 out of 5 stars. I definitely recommend this. And yeah, so with that, that is the end of this video. I'm probably going to do at least one of these episodes, probably like once a month or once every other month. Depends on kind of how my schedule is going, because I do have a ton of books that have just been sitting on my physical TBR for a while, for years, and it's honestly to the point where I don't remember when I got them. I don't remember what any of them are about, so I definitely need to get those off of my TBR because I keep being drawn to my most recent purchases. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know what you guys are reading right now in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!